back to the farm. Hey, John Deere 9560R and a John Deere 637 32-foot 1-inch disc. Disking up a hayfield that we've had here for about 6 years. You see in the back here, it turns to almost muck ground. We're right in the muck vein here out north of Emily City. And then I'll take it to the front of the field. It's more of a sandy loam. It turns into a little bit lighter of a ground, but plenty of moisture. Fertilizer was spread. You see these little light, white little granular nuggets across the field. This will be a cornfield. Will be our first cornfield we're planting. We were thinking about plowing this up with a moldboard plow or chisel plowing it, but the conditions were right. We decided to hook up that big disc out of Canada, Han Farms, Ontario, Canada, I believe. Got it about 6-7 years ago. Came in pieces, we assembled it. But Lee and I got that tractor out of the barn yesterday, did some shuffling, got the 4240 out. I'm gonna show you that. We're gonna probably get that up for sale. And hooked the disc up, checked it over. Supposed to get some rain the next couple days, but we decided we're gonna try and disc this and see what it does. And if you look, it looks like it's doing a heck of a job. That's a heck of a heavy duty disc, new blades. So that's what's going on. I'm gonna show you some more of the barn progress. You should smell the dirt in the air. Smells great. Let's go. Up towards the front, you see the difference in this? This is like a lighter sandy loam. The field kind of splits off the back, got a crown in the center, and then comes towards the road here. He's working this on an angle. This is a 60-acre piece, about 1.5 miles from the farm. That's the farm. That's down Bowers Road, where we own about both sides of the road. So this is our grandpa bought this piece, I think, in about 65, and it's where he stopped. He tied it all together. You can see the job it's doing. We sprayed this hayfield last fall. Yeah, it's really setting in. So guys, next day rain came over a 1/2 inch last night, and she's wet, but that's what we wanted. Mark got across that whole field, and now she's raining, and she'll just help bust it up even more. So updates on the barns. Here's the trailer that we've got a bunch of supplies on. Still got this 9420 that we're working on getting put back together. That's why that hood's up, so that needs to get going. The barn crew started on this side. They rebuilt both them sliding doors. I already showed you that once. And on this side, they only had one slider. They redid the steel up top, and they put me 3 sliders in. Now I'll go in here. I mean, look at the difference. I'll go in here and show you what I did with this freestall section. I'm also going to give you a big rundown on these Heifers as we're going around this barn. And when we get in there, I'll show you. We got some new Heifers that just calved in the barn. So you see these stalls. These are the ones that the last section, both end walls, we never got raised up. I'm actually looking for some different style stalls like these. Actually, nutritionist, I told him that, and he knows all these farms, and he actually texted me. He knows where some's at. I'm going to try to need about 50 more. I'm going to take these out, but first then I'll get them raised up. But in the meantime, I didn't need them using these stalls because they were too low. They'll get stuck in them, and they're crapping in the back of them. So we loosened these up and we slid this right out. And until I get these put properly, the right height, I'm not even going to let them use them, because I've got enough stalls as it is that they need to stay out of them if they're not right. These walls got completed, tongue and groove, treated 2x6. Got a guy say that might be not healthy for the cows, but I can assure you the cows are just fine. They like it. Look at the way they got that end polished right up. That's from their necks rubbing on it. They'll clean that edge right up. It's like it's already been sanded right down. Then I did the same thing to this section because I built this long wall. I'll show it to you on the outside, but I had to take them bolts out because they were putting the new boards on, and this is the last piece that isn't done. Everything else in this barn has been raised up. You can see how they're laying in them. The center section, they're all laying properly. I got two backwards here. Well, on the far end, they're laying right. But since these weren't right, I pulled it out. This is about 12 more stalls. And then we'll raise them up probably about 10 inches. And I'll put the bar back. And these are them old style little chintzy clamps. I've got bigger clamps. I'll end up scrapping this whole clamp, and I'll put the bigger ones on, the 1/2-inch bolts. Kind of a lazy day on the farm. Very, very dense fog this morning after that rain. But here's your wall that they built. They ended up, see that girl right there rubbing on it right now. We ended up raising it up a couple boards because we had steel down here, and all they did was dent it up, and they were gonna vandalize it anyway with their heads. You can see what they do. So we raised it up, but there's the track. There's gonna be a track going along this whole thing, and we're gonna put 4 doors for air and light, and then we're gonna put more skylight on there. But when this is done, I mean, you can see there was an addition put on, but once they get completely done, it'll look like it was just one barn. So it's coming along pretty good. They've been working steady. Probably only another few days and they're going to be out of here. It was a pain for them to get that leveled, that wall, because this barnyard goes on a pitch, and it took some time, but they're doing a pretty darn good job, I'll give you that. Okay guys, south side of the barn, freestall barn, we had them put clear plastic all along here. This is where I pull my mixer wagon. I'll show you that Penta in a second. Still using that, still really liking it. They cut windows into these doors, so when it's shut in the winter, it can still open and you can still see the light. And also when it's open like this, it double shines through. But some of the doors didn't have any on it. There was some on these, but it was that old brown stuff that got really dark and brittly, so they re-plastic the whole south end of this. And that just came to me because last winter it was very dark in here, and you know, it's not going to ever be perfect, but more light the better, because cows, they're like people, man. They need sunlight. They get depressed too, so we want to keep them as happy and comfortable and confident as possible, and that's how they'll produce the most milk. So now back in the main barnyard here, we're looking for some heifers. I think I see one way up here broadside. Had about 4 or 5 calves. Look at this cow. She's already about leaking milk out for tonight. She's one of our top cows, 3rd lactation. She's about the perfect size cow right there. Not too big, not too small, but there's the bull right there. He's on somebody. Here she is. She's about to calve next. Very friendly. Had her in the milking parlor, had my hands on her. But if you look at that, this is what I wanted to show you guys. These heifers, they're beasts. They're powerful. This is a really good cow too. One of our better cows too. But let's look for another one. Here's another one, 191, just calved. I actually just milked her last night. She's not as beastly, but she's no slouch. And here's this tall bull here, moseying out of here. Got one right here. This is the next one that's gonna calve too. Hasn't calved yet. Very calm, very friendly. She's very close also. See the wave in her hair like that? That's from her licking herself and cleaning herself. But she'll be next on the chopping block. So we've got two extremely close, next day or two. And probably about 4 or 5 more. Man, she's big. Then I'm on the other side of this wall right here, 32. Milked her last night. I couldn't believe how big and strong she was. See how tame they are? That's a testament. You ain't gonna be able to see the size of her being laying down, but take my word for it. I couldn't say enough about her last night. I kept telling Nathan and the guys I was milking, I said, man, I've never seen a heifer like that, and just calm. Testament to the guys breaking them in every morning, because when they're breaking them in, end of milking, I'm out here feeding, scraping, running the mixer, and it's probably about 8:30 in the morning, and they're running them new ones in and being nice to them, tame to them, because we don't want their first, second, third, fourth experience to be a bad one, because you could literally really ruin them for life, scar them. So you don't want to do that. All right, we got one in our sights. She's cleaning up the feed there on the sidewall. 199. Another stack built, strong, physical cow. Big udders. Milked her last night too. I had 3 of them come right in a row. I mean, I was pleasantly surprised. And this morning, I haven't showed you him yet, believe it or not, Super Trucker is milking a couple mornings for us. And he pulled me aside and he said, man, these cows, the amount of milk that they're giving, they're like leaking milk in the morning. He can't believe it. I said, it's all from the TMR. I said, it's from the oats, the third cutting hay, mixed with really, really good corn silage. That corn silage, there's another one out the calf. That corn silage, it's like, it's so wet. I mean, it's bagged, it's a big bag, but it's oozing, the juice is kind of oozing out of the bag right now, which I've never had that. It was always too dry, or on the drier side. But now the kernels are all mushed, and they're processing the whole thing. So far, doing that, switching out away from these silos and doing the TMR with the mixer. I knew a lot of guys did it. Oh, we got another one right up here by the gate. I'm wanting to get in there. I knew a lot of guys did it. That wasn't, so I kept telling them when they didn't want to make a change that this isn't like a new thing I'm trying. It's never been done. Over half the guys, 3/4 of the guys in the dairy industry are using a mixer feeding like this. So it's not like I'm doing something that's that far out there. And lo and behold, I'm telling you, take my word for it, if you're on the fence on trying to switch to a TMR or switch away from the silos, don't be afraid to change. You can always go back. But for us, I'm not going back. I mean, you can, look at this heifer. Look at that thing. Look how kind, chewing her cud. Absolute tank. So we'll see how hopefully everything goes well. I'll try to get you a birthing one of these. If I catch it. Lately, they've all been born healthy and the cows have been doing good. There's that bull. He's trying to breed one right now. So there's your barn update. There's a cow update. I hope you like that. Maybe I'll get in there very soon and show you them milking. Get you another milking video, because it's been a while since I've done that. A lot going on in my life personally, with my wife being 2.5 weeks away from having another baby, and my eldest daughters and volleyball. We were in Mount Morris, and a lot of things going on. I got a brother that's went on vacation, and everybody's got a lot going on. So that's kind of why I haven't been putting as many videos out as I usually do, but I'm just trying to get caught up here. Probably won't be using this too much longer because they're gonna want it back. But again, 2 thumbs up, very smooth. Does not take as much PTO power to run as that Luck Now. Must be because everything's new. This loader, I've got now, I put 20 hours on it. I had another guy comment on it, on a video I put on Facebook. I put a lot of these on Facebook, and he said that's just years of running. And really, it was years of running that. That's all service, grease, wash, put away. But this thing, that was 10 hours on it when he said that. I started really getting the hang of it at 10 hours. Because that's when we changed the oil and when I started using it. Now, I just looked, spent 20 hours on it. And man, I would never go back to that pack. Just this morning when I was loading this, because this is preloaded right now. Just this morning, I love it. And that's another thing I like about mixing, is you preloading this mixer, I'm all set for tonight. I am ready, locked, socked. And you'll be proud of me. Hey, I put a dry hay in the bottom of this. On the bottom, as a core of a round bale, and mixed it in there. And man, you're right. That's the way you feed hay. I mean, the free choice works, but I put these cutters in, and I wound that hay up, and then I put the rest in. And those are like little protein nuggets inside that mixer. But yeah, 20 hours on that machine, and that little crab steer loader. If you're on the fence, I'll get one of them. Had a guy once tell me they load with a skid steer with tracks, and that would be good. I like the idea. You could tell it was a dairy farmer comment, and these dairy farmers, they know what works and what don't work. He says that way you've got another skid steer on the farm, because dairy farmers always need an extra skid steer. But I had already bought that at an auction, and I don't know, just the way it turns and maneuvers and loads, it's slick. It's very, very slick. Another thing I did was I dug out one of these big blowers we got from our haylage. I've got 2 of them. This is a big, mean blower. Probably gonna put it on Albrecht auction. So I'm gonna start piecing off any of them Van Dale silent loader parts. I'll probably might advertise them in the Milk Messenger. But yeah, we'll see. I know these things were 35, 45, $100 or $7 new. They were. It's a mean blower, buddy. So I don't know what I'm gonna put on it for a reserve, but if someone needed a big, mean blower, this isn't no little 40 blower. This is it's a mean machine. I got 2. Probably put that on there, see what it does. If you don't bring enough, then I'll put the other one, I'll sell it outright. Guys, in the shop, said I'd give you an update on this 4240. This was on the disc bind for the last 2 years, maybe 3. New engine, AC, pump, everything works. I said I'm probably gonna sell it, look for that, but I had Bernie in here, my 81-year-old buddy that helped work on the chopper here, rebuilt that cutter head. And he took a step back and he looked at this tractor and he said, "That looked pretty good on your mixer wagon." And it completely just, I never really thought about it like that. I just made it through the winter with my 4430 canopy. And I said, "Man, Bernie, I hear a lot of different people saying different things, and it's what you do with that information." I said, "But that is one heck of an idea." I mean, right now, I wouldn't mind leaving the canopy on there. It's not that cold. It's going to be summer, but that, my friends, that could be the ticket. That's going to be some pondering on that. So we may end up keeping this for my winter feeding cab. And maybe I'll If the AC working, maybe I will try it. I'll probably spin, I gotta spin and move them wheels in. Maybe I will try it in the summer. And then I can put my 4430 canopy back on them hay rakes like I wanted. And we're gonna take that new tractor, that 7720, that we just picked up. That's now, already switched that up. That's not gonna go on the baler. That's gonna go on the disc line, what I think we're gonna do. Mark's gonna keep the 6420 on the baler. So it's just some shuffling around, but I'd like to get rid of something. We don't need 20 tractors, but more the merrier. You don't have to unhook, but we gotta be practical. We wanna be smart about it. So on that note, I hope you liked the video. I hope you liked the disking. She's wet now, boys, but it's gonna be drying up. Spring's here. We won't be hitting the field for over a month. There's a lot of things that are happening before that month. Got another son to be born next few weeks, and getting the planter, getting everything ready. So hey, take care, everybody. See you next video. God bless.